Hey there, I'm Zach Champagne, Chief Content Officer here at Flynn Education. Just want to share a few thoughts that we think about as we get toward the end of the school year. Everything starts to feel a little bit different in our classrooms. Schedules get strange, students are tired, teachers are tired. Testing's probably wrapped up, but there's field trips, spirit weeks, assemblies, they're popping up everywhere. The overall rhythm of the school day changes pretty dramatically. And honestly, it can be really easy during this time to slip into survival mode. But I actually think these finals weeks can become some of the most meaningful mathematical moments of the entire school year. Not because we're trying to cram in more content, but because we have an opportunity to remind students what mathematics can feel like when there's space for play and when there's space for creativity. I want to be really clear about something. This is not about keeping kids busy until summer break. It's not about packets. It's not about filler activities. It's not about making sure they master every standard. And it's definitely not about abandoning meaningful mathematics altogether. Instead, I think these final weeks can be a chance to lean into experiences where students are noticing, wondering, talking, debating, building ideas together, and exploring mathematics in ways that feel joyful and memorable. Sometimes the end of the year gives us permission to loosen our grip just a little bit. And when we do that, students often surprise us. This pressure shifts just enough for different students to step up and step forward and participate in new ways. One thing I really love during the end of the school year are those low floor, high ceiling experiences. Tasks where every student can enter quickly, but where there's still room for deep thinking and rich conversation. This is a great time for noticing and wondering, estimation tasks, visual patterns, which one doesn't belong, true or false statements, games that have a strategy, open-ended math problems, or just taking a math walk. What I love about these experiences is that they lower the pressure while still honoring students as capable math learners. Students can participate without feeling like they need that perfect answer immediately. And often the conversations become even richer because students feel more willing to take risks. I also think the end of the year is the perfect time to hand over a little more ownership to the students. Let me explain a bit more. Let students facilitate discussions. Let students create problems for each other. Let students defend their ideas. Let students ask the questions. One of the best ways to end the year is helping students realize that mathematics belongs to them. Not just to you as the teacher, not to the textbook, not to the students who are usually quickest with the answers. To them, each and every one of them. And sometimes these final weeks create the perfect conditions for students to step up into that ownership in ways they may not have earlier in the year. It's a time to try all the things you really want to do, but the cadence of the school year just always seems to get in the way. Here are a few simple ideas you might try during these final weeks. One idea is having students create their own math tasks or puzzles. You might ask, can you create a problem that has lots of correct answers? Or how about a problem with no wrong answers? My experience has been that students love this kind of work because it positions them as creators and owners of mathematics, not just consumers of it. Another great option is estimation challenges. You can find photos from all around your school, maybe some summer-related images, or even pictures students take themselves. Take this one, for example, that our Friends of Flynn Education members have access to. It's a great way to get kids curious and thinking about how many ping pong balls are in the water bottle. And then we give them a little bit more information and a little bit more information, and they refine their estimate. Estimation tasks like these are quick to launch, highly accessible, and usually generate lots of great discussion. Steve Wyborny, our friend and colleague, has lots of Estimystries, and they're free on his website. Math games can also be a wonderful thing at this time of year, especially games built around strategy, reasoning, and conversation rather than speed. Check out Jenny Bay Williams' work and the Math Fact Fluency game she has freely available. And honestly, simply taking math outside can completely change the energy. A short math walk where students notice numbers, shapes, patterns, or measurement opportunities can create surprisingly rich conversations. You can also invite reflection. Ask students, what math problem from this year has stuck with you? Or, when did you feel most proud of your thinking in math this year? Those conversations can be incredibly powerful in helping shape their math identities. It's also a great time to lean into wonder a little more intentionally. Bring students tasks that feel surprising, patterns that feel strange, situations that create disagreement or are intentionally ambiguous, ideas that are unresolved. Not every math experience needs to end up with everything perfectly tied up. Students can learn a lot from that ambiguity. In fact, some of the most memorable math experiences are the ones that continue living in students' minds after class is over. Sometimes the best end of year lesson is the one that leaves students still thinking about mathematics after they leave the room. And maybe most importantly, I think these final weeks matter because students remember how mathematics felt. They remember whether their ideas held value. They remember how they felt capable. They remember whether they belonged in math class. For some students, these final weeks may be the last chance this school year to experience mathematics as something joyful and human. And that really matters. Because long after students forget specific lessons or standards, they often carry forward that emotional memory of what it felt like to do mathematics in your classroom. As the year winds down, I hope we can resist the urge to simply fill the time or power through to the finish line. These weeks are a chance to remind students that mathematics can be playful, creative, collaborative, and deeply human. And maybe the most important thing we can leave students with is not one more worksheet or one more review packet, but the feeling that their ideas mattered here. What am I forgetting? What other things are you doing at the end of this school year to make it really matter, to make kids feel like it was awesome? Let me know. Take care, everybody.